What if the old shotgun sitting in your gun cabinet is now worth a couple $1,000s? Before you sell yours, let us find out if you're holding a small fortune. These are the 10 pre-1990 shotguns that are secretly worth more than a car. Number 1 on this list is the one every serious collector already has their eye on. The Ithaca Model 37 looks like a working gun. That's exactly why most people sell it for nothing. But here's what most people don't know. The Model 37 is the only pump-action shotgun ever designed to load and eject from the same bottom port, and that single engineering decision made it the weapon of choice for the LAPD, the United States military in Vietnam, and duck hunters for 6 straight decades. It never left production. That matters because Ithaca went bankrupt twice, and every time they came back, the Model 37 came with them. The variants that move serious money at auction are specific. The Ithaca Model 37 Deer Slayer, produced before 1967 with the original solid rib barrel and unmolested bluing, regularly clears $1,200 to $1,800 at Rock Island auction. But the variant most owners don't recognize is the military and police Model 37, the trench gun configuration with the extended magazine and original heat shield intact. Those have cleared $3,400. The detail that kills value fast is the stock. Replacement stocks, even period-correct ones, drop auction estimates by 30 to 40% immediately. If the stock on yours has a different wood grain pattern than the receiver, that's a replacement. Original Ithaca stocks have a specific walnut figure that's tighter and darker than most aftermarket replacements. One more thing. If your Model 37 has a Featherlight stamp on the receiver, that designates a post-1954 lightweight variant. Collectors want the pre-Featherlight guns. That's the one detail that separates a $400 gun from a $1,800 gun. Number 9 on this list was discontinued by Winchester because it cost too much to make. The Winchester Model 12 took more hand-fitting hours per unit than any other pump-action ever built in America. Winchester killed it in 1964 to cut costs. But the collectors never forgave them for it. What makes a Model 12 valuable isn't just age, it's configuration. The standard field-grade guns move for $600 to $900, but the pigeon-grade Model 12 with the factory engraving, the ventilated rib, and the original case has cleared $4,800 at Rock Island auction. The trap and skeet variants with original factory stocks are in the same territory. Here's the authentication detail most sellers miss entirely. Pre-1942 Model 12s have a different disconnector design than post-war guns. The pre-war guns have a smoother, more positive reset, and experienced shooters can feel it immediately. But the number stamped on the underside of the receiver tells you everything. Serial numbers below 550,000 are pre-war production. That single number can double what a buyer is willing to pay. The Model 12 also had a feature Winchester never advertised publicly. With the trigger held down, you could cycle shells as fast as your hand could pump, a slam-fire capability that made it devastating in the trenches of World War I. The military versions with original ordnance stamps intact are the guns that move the highest numbers at auction. If yours has a fleur-de-lis or ordnance wheel stamp on the receiver, get it appraised before you do anything else. Number 8 will surprise you because this maker no longer exists, and that fact alone is driving prices up every single year. L.C. Smith stopped manufacturing shotguns in 1950. There is no factory. There are no replacement parts being made. Every L.C. Smith on the market today is a closed universe collectible, and the market has figured that out. The entry-level field-grade LC Smith doubles are selling for $1,100 to $1,500 in solid condition, but the guns that stop a room at auction are the higher grades. The monogram grade with the full coverage engraving and exhibition quality wood has crossed $18,000 at Rock Island. But here's what most people don't know. LC Smith graded their guns with a numbering system that ran from number 0 at the bottom to the crown grade at the top. Most owners only look at condition. The grade stamp is what actually determines the ceiling. It is located on the water table, the flat machined surface between the barrels and the action when the gun is broken open. If that stamp is worn or obscured, a competent appraiser can still identify the grade through the engraving pattern and the quality of the wood figure. One more detail that matters. LC Smith built a small number of single-barrel trap guns between 1917 and 1950. Those are among the most undervalued LC Smith firearms on the secondary market right now. Fewer than 2,000 were made across all grades combined. If you have one, you likely don't know what you have. Number 7 had a sitting U.S. president pull one out of a factory crate and refuse to put it down. Teddy Roosevelt was handed an A.H. Fox shotgun during a factory visit in 1907. He ordered several before he left. That association didn't happen by accident. A.H. Fox built their guns to a standard that other American makers weren't matching at the price point. The Sterlingworth was their volume model, but volume for Fox meant something different than it meant for everyone else. Sterlingworths were still hand-fitted, still regulated for point of impact, and still built on a box-lock action that gunsmiths today describe as one of the tightest designs ever produced in America. The standard Sterlingworth in original condition moves for $1,800 to $2,800 at auction. But here's the detail that creates the real spread in value. Fox produced the Sterlingworth in 3 frame sizes: the 12-gauge, the 16-gauge, and the 20-gauge. The 20-gauge Sterlingworth was produced in far lower numbers than the 12. A 20-gauge Sterlingworth in 95% original finish has cleared $5,500 at Rock Island auction. The authentication point most sellers overlook is the barrel wall thickness. Original A.H. Fox barrels have a specific taper that later reproductions don't replicate correctly. A gunsmith with a barrel gauge can confirm authenticity in under 10 minutes. And if your Fox has the original snap caps and canvas case, add 20 to 30% to every estimate you've seen. There's one more thing about the Fox that almost nobody mentions. A.H. Fox also produced a higher grade called the XE, positioned above the Sterlingworth but below the exhibition grade guns. Those XE guns were made in very limited numbers and are routinely misidentified at estate sales as standard Sterlingworths. The XE designation is stamped on the receiver flat, forward of the trigger guard. A genuine XE in 20-gauge has crossed $9,000 at auction. Most people who own one think they have a $2,000 gun. Number 6 is where Belgian craftsmanship meets an auction market that has fully woken up to what it lost. The Browning Superposed was designed by John Browning himself, the last firearm he completed before he died in 1926. But here's what most people don't know. The guns built before 1976 were hand-fitted in the FN factory in Liege, Belgium by craftsmen who spent years on a single assembly station. After 1976, production shifted and the hand-fitting process was standardized. The guns still worked, but they weren't the same product. Pre-1976, Superposed in grade 1 field configuration moved for $2,200 to $3,400 at auction. But the Midas grade and Diana grade guns, the top of the pre-1976 factory hierarchy, have crossed $22,000. The grade identification on a Superposed is stamped inside the action, visible only when the gun is disassembled. Most owners have never looked there. The other detail that separates valuable Superposed guns from ordinary ones is the barrel-proof mark. Pre-1976, Belgian guns carry a specific Liege-proof house stamp, a stylized ELG mark inside an oval. If that mark is present and the serial number dates the gun before 1976, you are holding a different category of firearm than most Browning owners realize. One more thing that rarely gets mentioned. Browning produced a small number of Superposed presentation-grade guns in the 1970s, hand-engraved by named FN engravers whose signatures appear on the action flats. Those guns were produced in sets of 4, with different wildlife scenes on each grade. A complete matched set has never appeared at public auction. Individual presentation grade. Superposed guns with engraver signatures have cleared $35,000. Number 5 is the most counterfeited American shotgun ever made, and that fact alone tells you everything about what the real ones are worth. Parker Brothers produced shotguns from 1868 until 1942. Remington bought the name and continued limited production until 1947. After that, nothing. The grade system Parker used ran from the entry-level Trojan at the bottom to the Invincible at the top, and only 3 Invincibles are confirmed to exist. But here's what drives the fraud problem. Parker grades are stamped on the water table, and those stamps can be recut. A Trojan with a restamped grade mark has fooled buyers at estate sales for decades. The authentication detail that cannot be faked is the barrel serial number. Parker numbered their barrels independently from the receiver, and both numbers were recorded in factory ledgers that survive today. The Parker Gun Collectors Association maintains access to those records. A $30 registry lookup will tell you exactly what grade left the factory and whether the gun in front of you matches. A genuine Parker, degrade in original condition, has cleared $8,500 at Rock Island. A grade A1 Special, the second highest grade Parker produced, crossed $48,000. If you're still with me at this point, you're already ahead of 90% of the people who will walk into an estate sale this weekend and sell something they don't understand. Number 4 was never meant for volume production, and Winchester made sure of it. The Winchester Model 21 was the only true side-by-side Winchester ever built entirely in-house, and they priced it accordingly from day one. In 1931, a standard Model 21 cost more than a Ford automobile. Winchester produced them by hand, to order, in small batches, and the final custom and pigeon-grade run, completed in the 1980s, totaled fewer than 2,000 guns across all configurations. Those final run guns are the ones auction houses are watching closely. A Model 21 duck gun with the 32-inch barrels and original beaver tail forestock has cleared $6,800 at Rock Island. But the detail that creates the high end of the market is the custom order documentation. Winchester kept records of every custom specification a buyer ordered. Frame size, wood grade, engraving pattern, choke configuration, all of it was logged. Guns that come with their original factory order letter are in a completely different pricing category than guns without documentation. A custom-grade Model 21 with the original order letter and shipping box has crossed $28,000. Without the letter, the same gun might bring $9,000. That single piece of paper is worth more than most people's entire gun collection. One detail that almost never gets mentioned: Winchester built a small number of Model 21 skeet guns with twin single triggers instead of the standard double trigger configuration. Those guns were produced for competitive shooters on special order only. Fewer than 400 are believed to exist. If your Model 21 has two single triggers side by side, stop what you're doing and call an appraiser today. Number 3 was discontinued during World War II, and that decision created one of the most undervalued collector niches in the American shotgun market. Remington built the Model 32 over-under from 1932 to 1942. Then wartime material priorities shut the line down. When the war ended, Remington ran the numbers and decided the Model 32 was too expensive to restart. They never did. But here's what most people don't know. The Model 32 Action was so well designed that Krieghoff, a German arms maker, licensed it after the war and used it as the foundation for the Krieghoff K80, which became the dominant competitive trap and skeet gun in the world. The K80 sells new for $10,000 to $14,000. The Remington Model 32 that inspired it sells for $2,800 to $4,200 at auction. That pricing gap is closing. The variant with the highest current demand is the Model 32 TC, the target and competition configuration with the original skeet-style stock and ventilated rib. Those have cleared $5,800 in original condition at Rock Island. The authentication point that matters most is the firing pin assembly. Original Model 32 firing pins were machined from a specific tool steel that Remington sourced exclusively during that production run. Replacement pins exist, but a competent gunsmith can identify them on inspection. Original firing pin assembly intact adds 15 to 20% to auction estimates consistently. There were also a small number of Model 32 D-grade guns produced with factory engraving and hand-checkered stocks. Total production of the D-grade is believed to be under 200 guns across the entire production run. One sold at Rock Island for $11,500. Number 2 is the one most likely already in your attic and the one most likely to be sold for nothing because the owner doesn't recognize what they have. John Browning designed the Auto 5 in 1898. FN in Belgium started producing it in 1902, and the guns built in the Liege factory before 1940, before the German occupation shut everything down, are in a category entirely their own. The humpback receiver is the visual identifier everyone knows, but the detail that separates a $600 Auto 5 from a $4,000 Auto 5 is the proof mark sequence on the barrel flat. Pre-1940 Belgian guns carry a specific combination of Liege proof house stamps that were never replicated after the war. A pre-1940 Auto 5 and 16 gauge, a chambering Browning himself preferred, with matching serial numbers on the receiver and barrel, has cleared $3,800 at Rock Island. But the guns that stop auctions entirely are the pre-1940 Sweet 16 variants, the lightweight 16 gauge configuration produced in very limited numbers before the occupation. Those have crossed $6,200. If your Auto 5 has a humpback receiver, turn it over. The serial number prefix will tell you the production year. Anything below B40000 on a Belgian gun is pre-war production. That number is where the money starts. There is one more Auto 5 variant that almost never comes up in conversation. Browning produced a small run of Auto 5 Magnum 12 guns in the late 1950s specifically for the American waterfowl market. The early Belgian-made Magnum 12s, produced before 1960, have a thicker receiver wall than the standard guns and a different recoil pad mounting system. Those specific guns in original condition have cleared $4,800. Most owners think they have a standard field gun. Now we get to number 1. The Winchester Model 42 is the most overlooked American shotgun in the collector market, and the number every serious collector already knows is 160,000. That's the total production run. Over 30 years of manufacture, Winchester produced just 160,000 Model 42s in all configurations combined. By comparison, the Model 12 production run exceeded 2 million. The Model 42 was a scaled-down pump-action built specifically for the 410 bore, a cartridge most serious hunters dismissed as underpowered. That dismissal kept prices suppressed for decades. But here's what most people don't know. The Model 42 is mechanically identical to the Model 12 in every significant way, with the same hand-fitting standards, the same proof testing, and the same quality of steel, just chambered for a cartridge that nobody was chasing. That changed when collectors started tracking production numbers. A standard grade field Model 42 in original condition now moves for $1,800 to $2,600 at Rock Island. But the skeet grade, with the factory checkered stock and ventilated rib, has cleared $5,200. And the pigeon grade Model 42, factory engraved, with documentation? That gun crossed $14,500. The authentication detail that matters most on a Model 42 is the barrel-to-receiver fit. Winchester hand-fitted these actions, and the lockup on an original gun has zero lateral movement when the action is closed. Any play in the action indicates either heavy use or a replacement component, and either condition drops value significantly. There is one final Model 42 detail that separates the serious collectors from everyone else. Winchester produced a small number of Model 42 trap-grade guns with a full-length ventilated rib and Monte Carlo stock on special order only. Total confirmed production of the trap grade is fewer than 250 guns. One appeared at Rock Island in 2019 and cleared $22,000. If yours is tight, dry, and unmolested, you are holding one of the most undervalued pump actions in American firearms history. And that market has not finished moving yet. If you found one of these in an estate, a gun cabinet, or the back of a closet, do not sell it without a professional appraisal first. Rock Island Auction Company offers free online appraisals, and their specialists know these guns specifically.